hi there. Glad you could join me. Bill Boshear's here in the Scizone tonight on Saturday night. I was just going back over the story that we talked about last night, or last week, I should say. It's all running together. Remember last week, they're already calling. We started talking, and I told you about Stephenville, Texas, where a UFO had been spotted, or a lot of the town residents had seen it. It seems now that the Air Force reserve officer said Wednesday, and they're sort of backtracking on their statement, saying, well, yes, we did have planes in that area, but the people in the town are not buying it, and I don't blame them. The one fellow that was out hunting said it was about 300 feet off the ground, and it was just sitting there. Now, F-16 fighters don't sit, as you may well have guessed. So they seem to have seen something. And for people suddenly to say, well, yes, we were there, incident. Not to be outdone, McAlester, Oklahoma, big UFO flap. I wish you people in Texas and in Oklahoma would get cameras and carry them around with you so that we'd get some pictures of this stuff. Apparently, the guy was clever enough, he drew the sketch of it, and other people saw the same thing, a huge triangular object, just sort of sitting in the sky, and a red orb thing sort of flashing on it. Now, you could say, guy was probably drinking or something, but it's a little more than that. If you want to get to take a look at this, there's a couple of places you can go. One happens to be Jeff Rense, that's spelled RENSE.com, and they've got them there. The other place is YouTube. They have got picture upon picture upon picture and video of UFOs, one of which we had here earlier, we were looking at it, is out of the shuttlecraft's bay. Another one is, what really blew me away when I saw it, is a UFO going right past the Hubble telescope. And the Hubble telescope is sitting there, and this UFO just goes by it. There's a video there of UFOs actually hooking up in space, docking with each other, and then going on. Do you believe in UFOs? Have you seen one? That's some of the topics tonight we're going to look at. By the way, on the Jeff Rense site, there's another area you really want to take a look at. And the title of it is Life on Mars. Do you remember the Mars rover that's out there? There is an image of an individual sitting on Mars. I'm not kidding you. You go look at it. There are people that have studied this for 4 years, and now they've released it. A picture of what looks like an individual sitting there with its arm raised. It is an awesome picture to see. It really is. It's Jeff Rense's site, and the title of it is Life on Mars. You need to see it. For those of you that are in that thing, I can't understand why NASA doesn't want to get up off all the information. They released some of the video footage, and there's UFOs plain as day. And in Peru, by the way, there's new footage of it's all in Spanish, of course. We didn't run it. But you see hundreds of them in the sky over Peru. And you're going, well, that's something. Well, we didn't see it here, so therefore it didn't happen. Right? Well, it has happened, and it's happened here. And right now, it's happening all over the world, including Iraq and Iran, Pakistan, Turkey. People are taking pictures of UFOs and putting them on YouTube. Sooner or later, the government, I think, is going to have to take a long look at this and go, well, maybe there's something to this. But we'll take a pause in the action and come back. A question for you. Did we close up Project Blue Book too quick? I don't know. Join me. Stick around. We got more to talk about. You're a part of it tonight, right here in the Scizone. I'm Bill Boshears. We'll be right back. Hey, I apologize. I'm still frozen. I'm frozen in time. That's me, frozen. Now I'm up. I'm looking at you, and there I am. Hey, I'm sorry about that. One of those technical things. But you know what? Mercury is retrograde, or going retrograde. This is some of the things that happens with it. Did a show on that the other night, and you got under. We'll do that. We'll get to that. But you got your computers. Look for them. They're going to go sideways on you. I was talking about this, and I held it up, and I lost it. Maybe you didn't get a chance to hear it. WBQC, we're hosting a movie on the AMC Newport Levee. It is a Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins. If you get a chance, this is a funny movie. We've got some tickets. I'll meet you there, and I've got tickets for you. Just go to WBQC, log on, and tell us you want some tickets, and we'll see what we can do about you winning them. Anyway, Texas, UFOs, all kinds of stuff tonight. That and I mentioned earlier, the satellite's falling. They don't really know why. It just did. And did you see the movie Contact? Yeah. I'll get to that in a minute, because something has happened to radio telescopes down in, I believe, Australia. We'll get to that right after this. We'll go to the phone call. Let's go to first to Blake. Been there the longest. Blake, thank you for calling.
How you doing, Bill?
I'm doing well, sir. What's going on, if anything?
Well, I tell you what, I definitely believe in extraterrestrials.
Why is that, sir?
I had an extraterrestrial encounter of my own.
Oh, I'll bet. It sounds.
No, I'm serious, Bill.
I know you are, sir.
It was about 3 years ago, and I was just laying on my couch watching X-Files, the reruns, you know, and just this big shining light just went straight into my living room.
Ah.
My wife, she said she didn't know what happened. I came back 3 weeks later, no clothes on, stark naked.
And full of bull jive, my kind of guy. I would have used that excuse too. I would have told my wife, honey, I've been abducted. There are people that have used that and got by with it. Your wife, she knows better. And so do we. Thank you. Let's go to Frank. Frank, are you there? Hello, Frank, once. Hello, Frank, twice.
Yeah, hi. That was pretty hilarious right there.
Well, you know, it's out there. I can't help it. They walk among us. Go right ahead.
This is honest God true story. When I was about 14 years old,
Yeah.
I was at a ballpark.
Yeah.
Me and a bunch of friends was getting ready to choose teams to play a game of baseball.
Of course.
And it was on a nice sunny day.
Yes.
And way out past center field,
Yeah.
there's a home run fence, and then there's a trestle. And I'm standing at home plate, facing towards the outfield, but looking at my buddies talking, and we're choosing up teams. And I just happened to look up, and I noticed this great big person standing on top of this trestle. Now, the trestle's so far away, the person should have looked small, but they still look big.
Uh-huh.
And at first I kind of looked up and I noticed, but I didn't really notice. I looked back down and then my mind realized what I just seen. And I looked back up and I got this real weird feeling over me, like just whatever it is. Notice that I noticed it. And then just as soon as I started to think about it or say something, it turned to its right, and it took about 4 steps and got off the trestle. Well, I've been on this trestle before, and it would take me about 40 to 50 steps to get all the way across the trestle, and it was about halfway in between. And then, I mean, within about 4 steps, it was off the trestle.
Now,
I have no idea what the truth was, but I absolutely did see it.
Okay, let me ask you this. This was in Cincinnati, someplace here around Cincinnati?
Yeah, it was at Shea Stadium down in Norwood.
Oh, okay. So they've spotted Bigfoot there a number of times. It could have been a Bigfoot. And I'm not joking. There are people that...
well, there are, like I said, it was on the train trestle. There are trains that go through there all the time.
Sure, I'm sure.
So I mean, I truly don't know what that was, but I did see something, and my logic, and I didn't tell nobody about this for probably for 10 years. And right after it happened, I thought, well, if I say something to my buddies, they're going to think I'm stupid because now it's past and it's beyond the trees and stuff,
Sure.
where it wouldn't have been able to be seen.
Sure. Well, Frank, I appreciate the story. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You fit right in. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
And when I say fit right in, that's usual for Saturday night. The first guy is a little, we're back, we're freezing again. I told you it was cold in here. I told you guys it was, it's too cold. Do you want to go to a break, or what do you want me to do here? We've got one right here. Let's go to Randy. Hey, Randy, you're on the air. Go ahead.
How you doing, Bill?
Pretty good. I'm freezing a lot tonight, but that's all right.
I noticed that. You must be being hit with a ray from the aliens.
Ah, you know what? I took that tinfoil off my head. That's what's doing it.
Well, anyway, Bill, I had a encounter when I was a kid, and my parents, well, the whole neighborhood had seen it at one time, and it amazed me. And from then on, I was a total believer in it, and I think the government's hiding it from us, and
what did you say?
About it forever. And
Randy, what happened to you?
Well, we were kids playing outside, and my parents were sitting outside on the sidewalk, and we looked up in the sky, and there was a strange object going through the air. And at the time, just had come out, and we thought it was a jet. But in the news, it wasn't a jet. It was something else. It was too fast. It lasted about 30 seconds, and it was really fast. It went from one point to another in a split second.
Was that here in Cincinnati?
Here in Cincinnati, and
wow.
that's the only one I ever seen. And I always try to look and see if I can find anything, but I never have anymore. Well,
a lot of people have seen them.
Oh, yeah.
And I have no doubts they're being there. And if you go to Jeff Rense's site, R-E-N-S-E on your computer, he's got a lot of videos there you need to see. And YouTube has got hundreds of them. And all of a sudden, they're all over the world. And people are videotaping them. So I'm telling people, if you're out there and you're going on vacation, for God's sakes, take a videotape. And I've got nervousness now that's got me jitters. It's got me scared. I'm jittery. Anyway.
We get zapped again.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, Randy. Thank you. Well, I'm cold and I'm kind of frozen. We'll take a pause. No break. All right. We'll go right back to the phone. We'll go to David this time. I'm a little jumpy, but that's all right. David, are you there, sir?
Yes, I am, Bill. How are you?
I'm getting better all the time.
Bill, I got something that's been weighing on my mind.
I want to hear it.
If you recall, I hate to take you off the UFO subject, but I believe this week marks the one-year anniversary of the execution of Saddam Hussein.
I missed that, but you're probably right.
I wanted to get your opinion and thoughts on if Osama bin Laden is alive, and by chance if we do capture him alive, what would happen to him? Because would it be the same as Saddam Hussein? Would Saudi Arabia intervene in that? I'd like to get your opinion on that. And then if you know anything about the candidates, what they're willing to do to capture him, because I don't hear a whole lot about that.
Nobody wants to capture him. He's a former employee of the CIA, and he was trained by this country. He knows where too many things are buried, and they don't want to catch him. They've got a $25 million bounty on his head. Nobody has come forth to get it. And some of the people believe that he's in Pakistan or Turkey. And when you question some of the leaders of the country, they'll say, well, if he's there, we'll get him, and we'll prosecute him, or we'll turn him over to you. And nobody's really saying what they're doing with this guy. I quite honestly don't believe they'll ever catch him. And I could be wrong, but I don't believe they'll catch him, because I don't think the government wants to catch him. I don't believe he had anything to do with 9/11, and the fact that they said he did was about as truthful to me as we're going in here to collect weapons of mass destruction.
Right.
They needed a patsy, and he was it. He could be dead for all I know.
Right.
Do I think he is? Nah, he's probably teaching. He's teaching in some liberal arts college someplace in Iowa, married to a blue-eyed, blonde-haired woman. And he shaved his beard.
All right.
Anyway, I don't mean to treat that light, but I don't know any other way to answer it for you, my friend.
All right.
Thank you, sir. You got it. Do you want that break now? I'm told I'm going to give you a break. You guys stay right there. Don't go away. We've got more to do. I'm Bill Boshears. This is the Scizone with your calls tonight. And UFOs, I think. Could be something else. But we'll work on it till you get there. Anytime, I'm still unfrozen. Getting chillier, but I'll be there. Are we going to break, or you want me to go? Back. I'm Bill Boshears. I hope we're back anyway. Annette, we lost Annette. Let's go right to Lee, who's been standing by the longest. Lee, you're there, sir.
Hey, how's it going? I want to get right to the point.
Go right to it.
I'm not going to lie like everyone else and say, oh, I've seen a UFO. I don't think there are UFOs.
Okay.
I don't think I'll ever see a UFO.
Okay.
I don't think everyone has seen UFOs.
Let me ask you a question. Do you have a computer?
Yes, I do.
Would you like to see a UFO?
I would, but if you go online to these YouTube websites, you're going to see these fake UFOs. They're going to build whatever they can to get on YouTube and get famous.
Well,
that's what
the film. I disagree with you, but the film from or the tape that is broadcast back from Hubble shows very clearly objects moving with intelligence toward each other, stopping, docking, and moving. A shot out of the space cap. Now, I agree that certainly could be staged, but it wasn't. The reason I know that is because of the amount of it. For somebody to go to that much trouble to do what? And not get any notoriety out of it? I don't think so. So I think if I were you, I'd rethink it. But hey, this is a free country, my friend. The fact, Lee, that you don't believe it won't stop it from happening. And are these other people lying? I don't know. But I know the pictures tell an awfully big tale. If I were you, I'd go look at them closely and try to make some assessment of it. But I appreciate it, and certainly, sir, you are welcome to that thought. Thank you. Let's go to Jennifer, who's been there too. Jennifer, are you there?
Hi.
Hi.
I may sound a little young.
What?
I'm a little young. I'm 13, and, yeah. I know this is, like, way off topic, but, about World War III, do you think it's going to happen?
Is World War III going to happen?
Yeah, I heard about it from my social studies teacher, and he said there might be a World War III, and I don't know if it's true. Do you think it is?
I think there's a lot of possibilities. If there is and what is a World War III, it'll be a lot differently fought than the other two wars. We've had a number of wars. We're in police actions now, dear. But I hope not. I hope your science teacher, or whoever told you that, I hope he's dead wrong. Anyway, but I appreciate your interest. Thank you, dear.
Uh-huh.
Bye-bye. Annette, you're back. Go ahead.
Hey, Bill. Okay, here we got Reaver. Why is it every time you talk about UFOs, strange things happen?
You know, that's interesting you would bring that up, because that has followed me for years on radio and on television.
Well, you mentioned it one time. I'm like, yeah, okay. Well, it's happening, isn't it?
It's happening. And maybe you pointed out a very good point, and I wish you hadn't pointed it out, but you did. Anyway,
well, I get a good memory.
Thank you.
Okay, there's a website from France, and how do you download that about UFOs? I have seen one, but it was back in the 70s, and it didn't look like a hovercraft or anything. It looked like a glow. It looked like the sun.
Well,
and I called up the radio station. They asked me, "What are you smoking?" I said, "Nothing. I'm on my way to work." You know, it's the way they treat you.
Yeah. They have to be cute and clever.
I know.
Don't worry too much with the French website. I don't know what it is. You can download and look at it. But if you go to Jeff Rentz's website, there's all kinds of links, and there's all kinds of information that you can get about it.
I saw that. What I think it was on BBC.
Uh-huh.
It looked like Bigfoot, and they were trying to say blow it off like it was lighting or something.
Could have been.
It looked like a creature to me.
Well, I've seen quite a few of them lately. But anyway, I appreciate your call, Annette. Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I want to say a special evening to Tony, and I believe her name, I forget her name. I'll look it up. She gave me her phone number. A special good evening to them, and to you out there. Thank you for joining us tonight. Let's go back to Doug. You're on the air, sir.
Yeah, Bill, this is Doug from Westchester calling.
Yeah, glad to have you aboard.
Good to talk to you. I want to thank you for having the subject matter you have on tonight about UFOs. And as far as the Blue Book subject that you mentioned before about
yes.
did they close that too soon? Oh, I think definitely. But, you know, to be honest with you, I've been fascinated with the subject of UFOs ever since I was a kid back in the 60s. And of course, they closed the Blue Book in '69 because they said that there was nothing to UFOs. I mean, all you have to do, it's beyond my comprehension, though, you know, how our government can continue to deny the existence of UFOs when, you know, this has been going on for centuries.
It's very easy. They don't say anything.
Yeah, right, exactly.
They just go...
I'm sure they keep us in the dark about a lot of things.
It's swamp gas or a weather balloon.
There you go. There you go.
And you're just going, yeah, I saw that weather balloon.
Exactly.
But you're going to have a hell of a time convincing the hundreds of thousands of people down in Peru, along with the television cameras, out chasing these things.
There's no question.
And they're showing them.
Right.
By the way, it's on Jeff Wrench. You got to see it.
Yeah,
they're strung out all over the sky.
I'll have to check that out, Bill. Yeah. I think there's no question about the fact that that there is evidence, and it's been going on for centuries. You know, like I said, I've kind of pretty much done a study on it. I've seen dozens and dozens of tapes and interviews. And
I'll tell you something that's equally important to me, and we can see them every day, and there's nobody doing anything about it, and they're poisoning you and me and our children, and that's chemtrails.
Yeah, right.
But, hey,
from the jets, right?
Nobody's willing to look at it, and you just can't cause an upheaval about it. But I appreciate the call, Doug. Thanks a bunch for being there, my friend.
All right, buddy. Have
Anytime. A good night. Glad to have you. Let's go to Ann. You're on the air, Ann.
Hey, how are you doing?
Fantastic.
I called you a while back. I'm the physicist who called about, I guess, Greenland.
Oh, yeah, I remember you.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
You were mentioning the radio telescope incident in Australia?
Yeah.
Something came up late last summer that was really very frightening to me and a lot of other folks. President Bush is trying to close most U.S. radio telescopes.
Sure is.
Yeah, he's trying to close Arecibo, and it costs about the same amount of 3 days in Iraq to operate Arecibo for a year.
See, I don't know if him being in office is going to be worth the screwing we're getting.
No.
I think he is without a doubt, and I mean this quite sincerely, he is the worst president the world has ever known.
Oh, he's dangerous.
He's absolutely dangerous, not only to this country, but I'm sure he's dangerous to himself.
Oh, well, yeah.
I mean, I don't know how they get him to go from one room to the other, you know, just come on, boy.
Well, if you look at him and you see the grimacing he has when he makes faces, that's indicative of basal cortex damage. So he does have brain damage.
That man wasn't dropped on his head. He was dribbled like a basketball. The idea that he is supposed to be the leader of the free world, he couldn't lead. He couldn't walk behind a dog on a leash. Go ahead, dear.
Well, I just want to bring this up. I have a doctorate in physics, and we're watching our scientific infrastructures in this country completely disassembled by this administration. And we're losing linear accelerators and radio telescopes and laboratory facilities. Yes. And this is very dangerous. This is a threat to our national security.
Well, if we don't have to pay for it, here's his deal. If I steal a little from that and I steal a little from that and I put it in the budget, I'll have something to play with. This guy is dangerous. You Republicans need to do something and do it pretty quick. Now, I say you Republicans and those of you who voted for him, you need to ask him to leave office, he and his whole bunch. I wish you could have an early election. Anybody, I would be better than him. You would be better than him.
Well, there are plans in case of a national emergency to cancel the election.
Well, guess if they cancel the election, what that makes him? That makes him King George.
Well, he wanted to be King George from the beginning.
Well, he let all of that, see that pomp and ceremony in the Skull and Bones Club, when they wrestle around in the mud, that went to his head. He has never been right since then. Annette, Ann, I got to run, but I appreciate your call anytime.
Have a good evening.
Thank you, dear. Do you want that break now? Oh, okay. I'll go right to Velva. You there? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, you're there, dear. Go ahead.
Several years ago, I was laying on the couch, woke up about 2:30 in the morning, looked out toward Blue Ash Airport.
Yeah?
And I saw something hovering over Blue Ash Airport.
You know, I've heard that story.
Then all of a sudden, I saw planes come from Dayton, and it shot straight up in the air. 3 days later, we heard that there's bodies in Dayton.
There's bodies in Dayton?
Dead bodies foreign from another planet.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I watched that real close because of what I saw.
I don't blame you. Velva, if anything else comes out, will you please call us and let us know?
If I get a chance to watch, I will.
Please watch that Blue Ash Airport. I believe that's one of the secret bases of the underground UFOs.
You're kidding.
No, I believe that.
Never thought about that.
Well, they tell me they're out there. I don't know. I haven't seen any, but I'm looking. And if you see any, you call us, okay?
Well, this shot straight up in the air.
That's the way they do it, straight up. I appreciate it. Thank you, dear.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Straight up. I mean, no, like that. That's where it goes. Let's go to WB. Hello, WB. How are you?
All right. How are you, Mr. Beauchers?
Oh, God, it's him again.
Do you believe in aliens for real?
Do I believe in aliens for real?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. After I saw the picture of the guy on Mars, I do. I believe they're out there. Do I believe they're here?
Yes.
I don't know.
Did you ever see one on 74 in Indiana?
No, I can't say that I have.
Well, you said you did before, and I got you on tape saying you saw one on 74.
You got me on tape saying I said
WLW Radio. You said you saw one on 74 in Indiana.
In Indiana?
That's what you said.
I've said that on 74. In Indiana, I saw...
yes, sir. You said that you saw one.
What did I say? I said... And you actually recorded that?
Yes. I like the show so much, I recorded it.
Oh, well, if I said it, I said it. I don't... I stand corrected. I don't remember seeing an alien anywhere in my life.
Well, I could...
That's all right.
Send you a copy of the tape if you'd like it.
Please do. I'd love to hear it. And if you send it, I'll play it on the air. How's that?
That's fine. I do believe in the space aliens, too. I believe that they're fallen angels, that this is what you're dealing with.
I don't know about that.
Well, read your Bible.
I don't... I have.
You're not a Christian?
I beg your pardon?
Are you a Christian?
What's that got to do with it?
Well, read your Bible, sir.
No. What does that have to do with it?
Well,
whether I'm a Christian or not reading my Bible.
Well, if you was
I'm not a Muslim and I've read the Quran. What does that mean?
Well, it's not in the Quran about the fallen angels.
I didn't say it was. I said, what's the
Quran's
difference?
Just full of,
in other words, if I read the Bible, I'm an automatic Christian. Is that right?
Well, I just wondered if
you just don't know, do you?
You're psychic. You're everything.
I am and all-knowing.
I believe you're
and all-knowing. You missed out on that part. All-knowing. We're going to commercial. I know that for a fact. Be right back. talked about, and I wanted to do this when Ann was on the phone, our physicist. There has been a piece of information that come to us about a burst of radio waves from outer space back to us. If you saw the movie Contact, that's in essence what happened. Is it as plain or as simple as that? I don't know. Could it just been a big bang somewhere and a radio wave got? I don't know. The point that is that there was something that happened, and it was like 5 milliseconds. That's like 0.005. That this burst of information came in, information or whatever it was. Now here's the deal. If you take that burst and expand it like this, and we can do that with computers, just the way they did in Contact, there may be information in it. I hope there is, but with our president, if it don't have to do with terror and killing and blowing something up, it probably won't get to the papers. But it has made the community sit up and take notice. Is there something to it? I believe there is. You can, I don't know if we've got some pictures of it, what it looks like. We're going to put are we going to put the pictures up? We can? Oh, okay. We'll do that, and you'll get to see. And I'll kind of commentate. There's the satellite dish that in Australia that got it. And interestingly enough, this is that little red circle, I guess, is where it's at, and it's next to this. What nobody has told anybody is where that shaded area was. It's like it's a big secret and we don't want to tell you. I don't know why, but that's the way it works. Anyway, now you know about it as much as I do, and maybe Ann, if she's got some stuff, she'll call back in. Let's go to Hannah, who's been there the longest. Hannah, you're on the air.
Hi, did you know that Barack Obama had... Hello?
I do know Barack Obama. I know of him, and I know where that was going. Curtis, you're on the air next. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say Dan Aykroyd was a big fan of UFOs, as I know. And he has a DVD out right now, and it's called Unplugged on UFOs.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of good information about UFOs and how some telescopes were seeing flying objects in the back of astronauts.
Absolutely. And for somebody to say, I don't believe in it now, is not really educated to the fact that it's out there and it is happening. Hell, the telescopes are seeing it. Mm-hmm. So it's there. Anyway, I appreciate it, Curtis. Thanks a bunch, man.
Okay, thank you.
Let's go to the telephone lines. 2 lines open. Jump in. If you're out there, I'd like to hear from you tonight. This is BJ. BJ, you there?
Hi, yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead.
Well, you know, we've been talking about a lot of things here tonight, and I find it very interesting, but something that keeps going through my mind is the fact, you know, there's been a lot said about Mr. Bush. I refuse to call the man president.
I do too. Go ahead.
But there's been a lot said about Mr. Bush, and it just crosses my mind. Where else could you get a job, cost the company the money he's cost our country, kill millions of people, and then retire with the kind of retirement money we're going to have to pay him for how many years?
For the rest of his life.
I am sick that my money has to go to pay this man a retirement fee for the kind of job he's done and the ruin he's put on our country and the world and the millions of lives he's caused. And I believe if we can't get rid of him before he graduates, quote, from his office, that the least we could do is get some kind of a program going so that he doesn't get his retirement pay, because God alone knows the man hasn't earned it.
He's never done anything. He's had stuff given to him all his life. He's never earned anything as far as I know.
Well, that's what's wrong with him. He's, you know, it's like when he was going to have us save up to pay for our health insurance. You know, a lot of people can't save up to pay for their health insurance.
You know, the middle class...
I've been a nurse for 42 years, and I can't afford to go to the doctor when I'm sick.
You know what? I hear that, and today I got a piece of information from a company that did a survey, and the middle class that we know about is shrinking. If you have one above, upper and middle class, lower class is shrinking this way. And it's settling, everything is settling into the lower class. One out of three people in a family cannot afford health insurance. That's a travesty. I don't think that,
you know, I take care of people every night that never worked a day of their life in this country and can't even speak English, and they're laying around and we're paying for their health care when I worked all my life in this country and I can't afford to go to the doctor.
You know what? I hear that from a lot of people that are retired, and they're really frightened about the fact that illegal aliens get Social Security and some of the benefits to it, and they can't get it. It's a damn shame.
They do. That's true, and I can tell you right now, too, it's not just the Spanish-speaking people. I've got one lady that speaks Russian, you know, and it's full tilt for pay. She's got drugs. She's got, you know, podiatrist and a dentist and an ophthalmologist and everybody else that comes in to see her, and I can't afford to go to the doctor when I've got pneumonia.
There's they brought in the military from Russia, and they were retired officers in Russia, came here and walked right in the office and got full tilt benefits. I rest my case. JB, appreciate the call. I got to run. Thank you, dear.
Thanks for being there.
You got it. Thank you for being there. Let's go to Craig, I believe. Craig, you're on the air.
Yes, hello, Bill.
How you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you? First of all, I'd like to tell you thank you for trying to spread a little bit of truth to everybody where there's so much deception going on nowadays.
There's a bunch of it.
My call is regarding Ann, the physicist.
Yes.
Speaking about shutting down radio telescopes.
Yes.
Oddly, this may come into play with all these UFOs coming in.
Exactly.
The administration may be trying to actually block out.
You know what? I hadn't thought of that, but that's a hell of a thought.
There may be an invasion coming that our administration knows something about, and they're trying to block everybody else from finding out about it until it's too late.
Greg, you've got a hell of a point. I'll take that's worth considering, and I'll bring it up at the board meeting. But I'm really, that makes a good point and certainly explains some of it. Ann, I hope you're still listening. Appreciate it, Greg. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Do you want me to take a break now? And that's what we'll do. We'll be right back with more of this and you and some pictures for you. I need your help with a couple of captions. Join me right here in the Scizone. All right, I've got a contest for you, and I want you to get involved in this. I've got a picture of it's Bob's birthday up in Michigan, and what I want you, I'm pointing to Michigan over my, that's up there is Michigan, and what I want you, or maybe it's up that way. Anyway, Bob is a good friend of ours, and we want you to help us. We've got some absolutely wonderful prizes, I guess. I'm going to show you a couple of pictures of Bob. And I want you to put a caption to it. And I want we'll put the address up on the screen. Now there's Bob. That's Bob to the right of that blue thing is not Bob. Bob is standing to the right of it. And what I want you to do, and there he is at a Brian Pillman benefit. He has a camera balanced on his head. Now I want you to put, and there's the, just copy this down and put your captions on it. We'll pick the best one, and we've got some prizes to put along with this. Anyway, send your caption to Scizone at WBQC.com, info at WLLZTV.com. The subject is birthday box, and we'll do some things with that. And WLLZ Super 12, Post Office Box 97, Charvox, I guess Charvox, Charlotte or whatever. Michigan, Charvoy, Michigan, whatever, 94720. What do you name a place like that for? Trying to be the French, I guess. Anyway, glad you could join us. Please do this because this is going to be a lot of fun. We'll have some fun. By the way, I'd give you Bob's phone number. When we go off the air, it will be his birthday. So you people in Traverse City, if you're watching this, call Bob and say happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, you know the words. Just put it in there. We got time for, you want to show them pictures again? Can we show them the pictures again? Because people don't believe that. Now, the one on the right is Bob. Put a caption under it and send it in. Just put your caption under it. That's all you have to do. Now, everybody does it. And there he is inside the circle. If you can look real close, he's got a camera on top of his head. That camera weighs 30 pounds. And he's sitting there. Great guy, a lot of fun. Anyway, put your captions on a card and send them in. We want to hear from you, and we'll... by the way, are we going to announce this next week? Will we announce this next? We will. Okay, next week we'll announce a winner. You be a part of it. I'm not telling them there's surprises. And we got tickets. We got tickets to a movie and dinner at McDonald's or something. We'll figure something out. Huge prizes, huge. Let's go to Marie. It's been a long time. Marie, you're on the air.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I watch your program every chance I get.
Well, I do it every chance I get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About your ninth caller back, and she was referring to the UFOs that came here in 1974. It was in September.
Yes.
We lived in Mount Healthy at the time, and my family and I, we plotted the UFOs on our window. And it was really fascinating because there was the mothership. There was 4 small crafts around them, which was red. And this thing was huge. And it was round. It looked like a bright moon, like a full moon.
So you saw it, and this lady who called back a few minutes ago, you guys all saw the same thing?
That's what made me call her, because I was in my yard. And all of a sudden, there was a jet. A jet approached this UFO. And I told my husband, I said, oh, my God, it's going to collide. At a moment's notice, the UFO moved out of the path of this jet.
I'm glad he did.
2 days later, it was in the newspaper.
All right.
It was in the National Enquirer.
All right.
We had tried to take pictures. I worked for...
I'm glad you did, and I'm glad. I got to run, honey. I'm out of time, but please, tell me the story next week or bring it to me again, will you?
I will.
We're out of it. Thank you, dear. We're out of time. Excuse me for rubbing my nose. I have something in here. Anyway, thank you for joining us tonight. As every week, we take a look at the strange and the unusual and some of the different stuff going on in the world. Do we understand it? No. If we confess we know it all, the way I do, it's done in fun and jest. You're what's important. Your phone calls make the show. Thank you for being there. Thank you for being a part of the Scizone tonight. Anytime, you're welcome.